everyone, it's Kate. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing good over here. I wanted to give you an update on Cooper's regression, kind of the signs, what I'm seeing, the tactics that I'm taking, and I have some really good news about a plan that I have put together. So, Cooper started to regress maybe a week ago. It was so slight that no one else probably noticed. It was like each day there was an increase in behaviors, returning behaviors, lining up chairs, hoarding, lots of running, super anxiety. He used to sit like maybe 10 minutes in a day. He wasn't even sitting his 10 minutes. And I was watching it happen, and I had to go on vacation for a few days. And I don't want to overreact because my personality is not to overreact. I'm a very even-keeled person. So I think that's one of the things that I always like to point out is that having a child with a disability takes away control, and it almost turns me into this person I really don't want to be. I'm a pretty chill, laid-back mom. And with Cooper, I have to be hyper vigilant and always observing and teaching, and it's just a really weird part of it. Sometimes I feel like I'm having an identity crisis. So before we went on vacation, whenever Cooper gets off, the first thing we always check is medical. Cooper has had many, many ear infections, 5 sets of tubes, adenoids removed, and then he has terrible GI issues to the point where a couple months ago, we were told that our only option was a colostomy bag at age 6. So we had both these things going on. We know that Cooper has a super high pain tolerance. We know that he can't communicate pain. So when something goes wrong, he usually lashes out. Hitting, kicking, patience goes away, tics, a lot of nervous tics. He'll start manically picking his nose. That's one. So Jamie brought him in, and he did have a burst eardrum. Lots of drainage. We got drops. Now, I know that Cooper's ear infections last months and months. They never clear up right away, and I don't fully understand why in 2017 we can't help my son with his ear infections. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. Or how it's so hard for me to find out that he has an ear infection. It's just lots of emotions that go into that because I don't think this kid should have to live in pain. And it's very, very frustrating to me. So we get back from the trip, and whenever I say Cooper's having a regression, I always feel like people like to pinpoint certain things, and they're like, well, you've had lots of change going on. Well, you were on vacation. Autistic people are very sensitive and notice things. Well, I know my kid. I really, really, really do know my kid really well. Oh, hold on. No pants. Did you go potty? Yeah. Okay, I'll come up. Go in your room for a little bit. Naked. So I really, really know my kid. And I'm like, he does not react to change. He's just this even keel. It's like this trait that he's gotten from me. It's like if Cooper did not have the elements of autism, I think he would be a super laid back child like me, where Sawyer has some anxiety like his dad. Cooper has pieces of that where he doesn't get rattled if we change the paint color. I just talked to this mom who said that they wanted to move her son's desk and they had to do it like an inch a day and like move a piece of tape. Cooper's rigidity isn't like that. It's just every kid's different. So I wasn't worried about my trip. I knew something was wrong. So each day this past week, it's just been a little bit more regression. And the part when I did that sad video a couple days ago that I was really wrestling with is I feel like I can't get a control. It's always changing. No matter how much I do to help Cooper, something else is going to change. So I wrote down some sentences here. Like I used to think when we got his diet under control, when we got him eating fruits and veggies and meats and drinking water and taking away the gluten and the dairy, then we'll be good. Well, we were for a while. When we started adding in all those supplements and did the full body workup and figured out if he had yeast problems and gluten problems and where his metals were and his toxins, the results were astounding. He now gets 10 supplements a day. I'm like, we got this. We got this. It'll be great. For a little while we were. It's like the stakes keep, the prize is out here and I can see it. I can see a happy, healthy, content child. Maybe he doesn't talk. Maybe he doesn't have friends, whatever. I can see that kid that I love. He's amazing. I can't get there. I can't remove his anxiety. I can't make him healthy, and it's freaking killing me. I thought when we get to ABA, ABA is the prize. I got to get him out of public education. It's not working. Once we get these intense therapies 40 hours a week and line up the speech and the OT and the feeding therapy and get everyone in his life and the perfect village, he'll be fine. We'll be to that kid, that person, that happy, healthy person. Nothing. I mean, he was great. We were seeing improvements every day and then down. I thought when we got him potty trained, when we get this kid potty trained, that's it. Once he can, I'm done changing diapers selfishly in this almost 7-year-old. Once I'm done with that, I'll be so much happier and he'll be content and he'll feel better and we'll get his constipation under control. We're still going backwards. And it's just so confusing how that goal keeps moving. So Monday was tough. Yesterday, oh my God, that was yesterday. I spent all weekend thinking, I'm losing him. How do I up the stakes one more time? We've done the therapies, we're in them. We've got the supplements, we've got the, Cooper's diet's amazing. I literally have no problems with Cooper's diet. And now I'm back to the ears. I can't get a handle on it. So I reached out to some super moms yesterday. I reached out to some, hold on, Melissa. I reached out to some medical marijuana moms for autism. And one of them told me about a doctor that's in, hold on, Sawyer, please. Can you stop? In a local suburb, and she said, this is the doctor you're looking for. This is the one that will holistically look at your whole child. The whole child, because we found great medical doctors and we found a great naturopath and we have great therapists, but none of them look at Cooper in a whole. They'll take like segments, they'll take behaviors. I need that person to look at the whole entire picture. And I just want to say, there is nothing more paralyzing than knowing what you need to help your kid, but not how. And I know that people think I'm exaggerating. So I just want to say this really quickly. We can't successfully leave our house. We don't go to restaurants, we don't go to Targets, we don't go into gas stations, we don't go to parks, we don't go to zoos. We stay home. I'll be right there. Okay, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. We don't go to parks, we don't go to zoos, we go to grandma and grandpa's. And that's it. And we've been doing this now for almost 7 years. And we love our kid, and he's the center of our life. But so on top of that terrible isolation, where if we go anywhere, my kids are running and pushing and hitting and kicking. If you live that, please comment, because I'm starting to feel like I'm the only parent that has a kid that can't go anywhere. And it's just, people are like, keep trying and keep exposing. We can't. Right now, Cooper cannot go places. We got serious problems. And I'm not exaggerating. So on top of the medical, feeling paralyzed over not being able to help him, we can't go anywhere. I can't figure out why my kid can't go through a drive-through and why my kid can't have me turn right at a stop sign because he wants to go left. Why we can't go to school events, why we can't, why? And I'm noticing it's getting worse. He can't sit, he can't stop moving. So back to what I was saying, I reached out to a mom about medical marijuana and she told me about this doctor. I was able to get in today. The same time though, Monday, I reached out to our medical doctor, left him a very frantic, heated voicemail, and he called me back today. I reached out to Cooper's ABA therapist. I'm like, I need to get the parties We gotta look at this kid. And the whole time I feel like no one is willing to go this level with me. And everyone's kind of like, well, you deal with it at home. Or it's hard to explain. No one really sees it, so I can't really get anyone on board to how bad Jamie and I need to figure this out. We're not trying to cure his autism. We're not trying to take away his autism for anyone that wants to get mad at me. I want him to be happy. I want him to not have anxiety. I want him to feel good. I want him to be able to sit at a table. I want him to interact and communicate. Not verbally, it doesn't have to be. I was losing all this. So we met with this doctor today. Right away, I was like, we're in the right place. She let me talk for 15 minutes. I told her all about Cooper while he flipped on lights and kicked tables and opened drawers, and Jamie had to follow him, and it was rough. And she knows autistic children. She asked me all the questions that should be asked that I don't normally get asked. She was able to engage with me when I was talking about him. She told me I knew everything about my kid, and she was the one thing she teaches is to
Be done.
I'm almost done.
Be done now.
Okay, let me just finish this. So dramatic. The one thing she teaches doctors in training and nurses is listen to the parents. And then I told her at the end, I'm starting to hate myself because I can see the person that I have to become in my family, and it's hard to push forward alone. You can have a super supportive partner and a super supportive family and still be doing it alone. It's hard. So right away, we're gonna do a full immunology workup. We're gonna go to this amazing doctor that works only or solely with her. That's gonna do all the blood work and look at all of Cooper's insides, different than the naturopath did. I'm very, very, very excited. She looked in his ear. He has a terrible ear infection still. She gave us medicine for that. She gave us a few Ativan tablets, a prescription, so when Cooper gets the blood drawn, it's not as terrible as it was last time. She just got it. And then we did talk about medical marijuana, the oil, and to get it prescribed legally in the state of Minnesota, you have to have ticks. Like, she explained it. And Cooper, the only ticks that he actually has is obsessive picking of his nose. It's like bloody, and he hums and he grinds his teeth. Everything else I described, she's like, that's behavioral, that's blah, blah, blah. And then we talked about, I'm going to say this out loud, and I hope I don't regret this. We talked about clonidine, and it's a blood pressure medicine, and she says they've seen great success in doing small doses to kiddos with autism, and it helps calm them down. It's not a narcotic. It, as far as I know, I don't know. I haven't done my research yet. I'm going to be doing it today. I'm pro medication. I'm pro helping Cooper, and I know someone's going to snap at me. Do you see how nervous I get to do these videos? Because lordy, lordy, people, I hear it all. If you're going to question me for thinking or even considering getting medication for Cooper, I want to ask you this. Imagine having someone in your life that you love terribly, more than anything. You know that they're in pain. You know they can't sit. You know they can't stop their anxiety. You know you live in the dark. You hear screams all day. You can't break them away from that technology, even though you know as a good mom you need to take away the technology a little bit. You can't get them. You just can't. Everything is just,
Mom, be done.
you're up against a wall. Okay, buddy, I'll be done in 2 seconds.
Be done now.
So,
Be done now.
can I have a kiss?
I'm not doing a camera.
You gonna be on camera? Do you want to tell them what we're doing for your reward? What are we doing? Tell them.
Okay, baby.
You're being a crybaby? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I can't find your nose. Oh, you're nuts. Okay, go count to 10 and I'll finish. So, we're starting some new things, and the point of this whole video is when you feel that regression happening, you have two choices, I think. You can go into the regression, or you can be insanely proactive, which I choose, and I'm doing that because I think that he can have a much better life if we can figure out what's going on. But I am amazed how the goal, the prize, just keeps moving farther away. Oh, and that doctor said today, she talked about how resilient autism is. So she has seen it and read about it and learned about it. If they do something, a medication or a treatment or a therapy or whatever, the kid will become resilient to it and they have to try something different. And I feel like that's the story of our life. I kept thinking when we get an ABA, when we get the diet, when we get up, we're going to be okay. And I didn't know that it was going to keep changing the whole entire time. I thought it was going to get easier. It's not, because he's getting bigger and he's stronger and he's smarter. And the isolation is just brutal. It's just brutal. It just stinks. So we got a plan. We got a plan. I will share it all with you as we go. I like to do that. I'll tell you about the immunology stuff that we do. I'll tell you. When I was new to this journey, I just wanted someone to tell me what to do or give me guidance. And I want you to know the best advice I've ever gotten is from other parents with kiddos with disabilities. They're your people, and you're still naked. This is my life. Okay, I'm coming. Pull your pants up.
I want you to sit down above your toys.
Okay.
Let me look at them.
So
Poopy!
reach out to your fellow people. Every kiddo is different, but just keep talking. I find that when I talk to other parents that get it, it gets me so much farther along.
Mama, I said Chelsea, you're done.
Talk about
Be
it.
done. Be done.
Okay, say goodbye. Can you at least wave and be cute?
Bye.
Okay. Goodbye from Team Swenson. You're